Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the VIP podcast. I'm so glad you're here hanging out with us because I think we're going to laugh today. I think we're going to smile a lot because this guy is not only one of the most educational people I've talked to. Like, he's taught me a lot in my career, but he's also really funny.
He is, and he just kind of like drops the joke in there and lets it sit for a sec, and you're like, wait, what? Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
So get ready to laugh and learn all at the same time.
Ooh, nice. I like what you did there.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Should we go?
Yeah, we should go.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Ruben. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Brad, to the program. I'm so glad you're here. And Brad and I have known each other for a little while now. Yeah, we have.
I'm jealous.
We go back a little bit, and yes, you should be because this guy is amazing. You should definitely be jealous, especially with that hair.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It's amazing.
He's got the flowy locks and the curls. I always wish I could get the curls. My hair's so straight. It's just,
See, and I want the straight hair.
That's how it is. That's how it works.
Yeah, I would give it to you if I could. It's the straightest part about me. So.
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here for the VIP podcast. We are out. That was amazing. Okay.
All right, focus.
Okay, we got to focus. All right, so keeping within this theme here, I would love to ask you, if you could, Brad, get away, my voice got high there, so I'm excited. If you could get away with any crime, if you could commit any crime and get away with it, what would you?
This is a good question for Brad because he's the last criminal. Like, he would be the guy that's the holdout.
He's the driver.
So it's funny that you should ask this question.
Oh, because I just committed one yesterday.
No. It's just.
That sounds defensive. I don't know. It sounds defensive.
Wait a minute. So if you get away with any
the
crime.
thing is that my wife and I, we watch a lot of those murder shows, like Dateline and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was saying to her the other night, I would love to see, without murdering the person, I'd love to see if I could get away with it.
Oh,
I'm
my
wondering
gosh.
if there's an app that I could do because
VR goggles.
Right. So the thing is like, we'll watch the murder shows and we'll go, why did she leave her phone right there? We're critiquing the murderer. And we're like, we would never do this.
Okay, so you're not the guy that commits the crime. You just like mastermind the crime.
Yeah.
Like you plan it,
I just want to know that I could get away with it. That I'm smarter than these other criminals. That's all. I don't want anybody dead. I don't want, I don't want to murder anybody. I don't want to even have the act of doing it. I want to have the act of getting away with it.
This is really dark, but since we're here, I feel like, you know how they have these games now where you can go into the malls and you try and find a way out? Escape room. This could be like how to get away with murder, but like the mall version of it. Go play with your friends. This could totally be a thing. This is so dark.
Like a murder mystery
party
or anything on steroids?
Sydney, you're welcome.
Brad, we need to.
I'll wait to see your my $1 billion idea.
She's expecting you to invest. She's expecting you to be an investor.
That was the pitch.
That was the pitch, and you're the shark here. Oh man, that's hilarious. Okay, so getting serious here. No crime.
That's hard to follow up, man.
It is really.
It is very
I got to make an awkward transition here, but you handle you do a lot of stuff, IT and insurance, and so. But it's a lot more than that for you. Walk me through, a little bit about Archway Computer, without an S on the end. Tell me a little bit about, what you guys do beyond just IT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we, first of all, it's not just some of our clients are independent insurance agents. It's all of our clients. So we have over 375 independent agencies that we work with. That's really awesome. Large, some of the largest, top 10 insurance brokerages in the world, and all the way down to 1 or 2 person shops. So we basically talk about IT sort of in three respects. The first one is sort of like defense, which is security and compliance. Those are the things that can put your agency out of business. You have a data breach, you have don't comply with your state's cyber regs, you could go out of business. So we're basically selling insurance, just like our clients are used to selling to their clients. The second is having a help desk that works insurance agency hours, which is basically every hour of the day or in the week. So we're open 8 a.m. Eastern time to 11 p.m. Eastern time, 7 days a week. And I've got a help desk of about 75 people. We're about 95 in total. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Heath, did you want to interrupt?
I did, because you're not based on Eastern time zone. So you're getting up really early to maintain those hours.
Well, no, our people are all over the place.
Okay. So you're in California, though, right?
I am in California, but I kind of work East Coast hours, I like to say.
Yeah.
So I'm usually, first of all, we're all remote team. So my commute, even in Los Angeles, is about 15 seconds from my bedroom to here. And so yeah, I work East Coast hours in general.
I just pictured you got pajama bottoms, in your nice, polo for your top.
Well, how do you know I even have bottoms? You don't even know that.
I love this guy.
Oh, this is amazing. All right. No, back to your thing. So your hours got
so like somebody has a problem Sunday in the evening, they need to get that proposal out and the PDF editor's not working. They've got a place to call and people to jump right onto their computer and fix those problems that only work with independent agents. So we've seen most everything. And the third is what I sort of call the fun part, which is helping agencies grow. Because if you're not growing, you're dying. Yeah. And so we don't sell hardware, software, internet, VoIP, but we do recommend it. We don't get commissions on it or anything like that. But if our agencies grow, we grow along with them. So we introduce them to technology, and we do digital marketing and things like that. My daughter, Hannah, runs our digital marketing division and has sort of cracked the code on Google Ads for insurance, which is awesome. Really tough to do.
Yes, it is.
Yes, yeah.
It sounds like we should have had her on instead of you.
She's a lot.
Maybe absolutely. One day we'll have her come on.
Done.
Yeah, okay. She's a lot smarter than me. Just ask her.
And probably better.
So anyway, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
And listen, I tell my clients I may bat 1 for 10. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard of, Brad. That's a stupid product. We tried that before. Wait a second. I kind of like that product. Tell me more about it. And so, and that's why we love going to trade shows, because we get introduced to products. That's why we like doing quarterly business reviews, because we learn so much from our agency base telling us, hey, I tried this and it's really helped our agency, or I've tried this product and it was a total disaster, failure. It keeps us abreast of what's going on.
Well, I was going to say, so yeah, what are some of the, so that's how you guys are helping agencies from an IT standpoint. What are some of the trends that you're seeing out in the IT space in terms of making sure that you're staying competitive, providing all the right services? Are there, new things that are popping up, things you're keeping an eye on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the cloud, if you've got on-premise stuff, on-premise servers,
which
servers
some do.
Yeah, which are, I call them a big bundle of risk.
Yeah.
Sydney. I mean, it's they can be stolen, they can be rained on, fired on, et cetera, et cetera. There's all sorts of problems with having servers, but you have IT companies that love selling you servers because it's like a drug dealer relationship. Where they sell you the drugs, you love them, and then you'll do anything you'll do anything when the thing, you'll pay anything when the thing isn't working.
Yeah.
You might even murder somebody
Oh, wow.
when the server isn't working.
Yeah.
So security around Office 365 is super important. That is the 99% vector of attacks is through Office 365, and there's so much that you can do to secure 365, and people just buy it and say, "Oh, I'm on Microsoft, I'm secure."
Yeah.
So
can I dig into that really quick?
Dig.
Okay.
You got a
I got the
shovel?
shovel. Brought one with me.
for the body.
Right. Listen.
Oh, golly. We may have the police come after us after this episode. I'm staying out of this one. I'm the driver.
They know you're in California, Brad. They know you're in California.
That's all.
So this is such an interesting conversation considering what's recently happened with CrowdStrike, which I know wasn't a security breach. It was a cyber security company that tried to perform an update and then screwed up a bunch of software. So a little bit different, but I think it still scared people because it was, I want to say it was named the largest global outage that we've ever had.
Wow.
And just, crushed, I would say, business movement, for a day or two. Like planes were grounded all over the country. And,
Right.
except for Southwest Airlines because they're still back in the dark ages.
They're on like Windows 3.1.
Yeah, right. They were like cheering. They were like, "Yeah, you guys all thought we were screwed." Okay, so with the security piece, talk to me about how you would recommend an agency think about security when they look at their tech stack, because they're holding a lot of PII data, a lot of personal information about their customers, and to steward that well is a huge responsibility. How do they do it?
Well, first of all, they don't think that they can do it themselves, right?
Yeah.
They don't need to use Archway. There are plenty of great MSPs, managed service providers out there that will secure their stuff. The second thing is, as a general rule, they got to get the data out of their office and into the cloud, because the cloud has much better protections on it than you can have in your office, right? So if you can get your data off of your machines and put it into the cloud, you're better off. Third recommendation would be to encrypt your local storage devices. So, and with Windows 10 and Windows 11, if you're not Southwest Airlines, there's a checkbox that you can do to encrypt it, so that that you're able to, if your machine is stolen, you don't have a data breach.
So what he's saying is get rid of your drug dealer and lock your doors.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, obviously we
very well.
Yeah.
That was the voice of God, right?
That was it. I almost started moving my mouse so people would think it was me, but we got to synchronize that a little better. But anyhow, obviously we agree with you on that. We made a big investment. We, obviously work with Amazon, with their cloud services. That we put a big investment in that. We obviously want to make sure that our clients feel comfortable in that as well. But, beyond that, beyond security and whatnot, we also have, the cyber risk and all those things that are going on as well. And so are you guys, beyond what you just said, is there anything else you guys are doing to help prevent, some of the cyber attacks and some of the phishing and some of the other buzzwords around that? Is there anything else you're doing beyond what you just mentioned?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, so I was answering that question like I'm an agency owner,
right.
I don't want an IT vendor, or I'm going to just hire this out, right? Yeah, there's a ton of things, and it's layered, right? So we use an anti-phishing product. We do all of the patch management work. We use what's called an endpoint detection and response package, which is sort of above a virus protection, in that it uses artificial intelligence, and I'm assuming we'll talk about AI a little bit in the future here. But it uses AI to look for unusual activity, things like that. Security awareness testing and training, we include that because your security is only as good as your people, and making sure that your people know how not to click on things. We use products that stop people from going to the hacker's website. So they get the email from Bank of America, and they click on it because they've got to change their password. And now the hackers have their password into B of A. So we'll literally our system will say, we'll bring Dikembe Mutombo up, who's a basketball player and famous. No. And stop them from getting there. So it's sort of a layered approach. And if I wanted to save your listeners, viewers money, it's the antivirus that's built into Windows 11 and Windows 10, called Microsoft Defender, is better than most of the AV that's out there.
Really? Okay.
That people are paying for. Now, what we do is we put Huntress and all these products that you've never heard of on top of it, okay. Right? But Microsoft Defender, it's typical of Microsoft products, right? They start out just unusable, then they're horrible, then they're mediocre, and then suddenly they're good.
Best in class.
They just iterate and get heckled by the community. And they just keep coding.
So you go ahead.
No, I was going to go into AI, so you go.
Before I get into AI real quick, because once we get there, it's over.
I know.
Because Sid loves AI. Okay, so, there's a big, conversation of the last several years of people's tech stack and building their tech stack and trying to find the right products to fit their agency and vice versa. And, obviously being an IT guy, you probably see a lot of different, tech stacks and different products people are working with. Is there any kind of, broad level advice you can give there, or some things that you can, talk to about from a tech stack perspective of maybe even start with, where to begin there?
So, Heath, are we talking about their security tech stack, or are we talking about their application?
Their application.
Right.
Their application.
Right.
Yeah.
So despite, so number one, I think what drives every other decision on your application stack is what I would call it, is your agency management system solution. And what I tell my clients is you've got to understand that when you make that selection, you're probably going to be on it for 10 plus years. I always tell my clients, if they like a double root canal, they'll love switching agency management systems. And so now companies like Vertafore make it easy, right, for this, but it's a lot of work for the people, et cetera. I also say that with all of your application stack, that you shouldn't be imposing it on your team. They should be involved in the decision-making process, or at least making them feel like they're involved in the decision-making process. That's how I work. And so anyway, and involving them, because they're different parts of an agency. There's accounting, there's the producers, there's the CSRs, and they're all doing different things. And finding an agency management system that's going to appeal to each one of those groups is hard, right? But once you start to get buy-in from everybody, so once you've got that, that's sort of the center point of your application stack. Then it's, not listening to salespeople, but talking to other agents about what products they're using with their management system. Right? I don't know if we have time for a joke, but you just cut me off if we don't.
We always have time for a joke.
So Bill Gates dies and he goes to meet his maker. His maker says, listen, we've never had somebody so wealthy who gave all their money to charity. We're going to give you, Bill Gates, a choice between heaven and hell. So Bill Gates says, I want to see him. So they show him heaven, and people are floating in clouds. They're eating grapes, drinking wine. There's opera music playing. He says, that looks good. And then says, show me hell. So they show him hell. And it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll, party, party, party. Bill Gates says, well, listen, I didn't have time to enjoy my college years, my party years. I choose hell. And so his maker snaps his finger, so be it. So 2 weeks later, his maker comes to visit Bill Gates in hell. It's fire and brimstone. He's on a rack. He's being whipped. He says, what is this place? What is this? He says, oh, what we showed you was a demo of hell. This is hell. So my point is that there's a lot of demos of hell going on in the software industry. Wow. I'm not saying you guys are doing demos of hell, but it's really important that you talk to people that are in heaven or hell
and tell
tell you how it really is.
Okay,
so you got like 7 minutes to get into AI.
I have just a few minutes. Gosh, I wish we could just end on that because, Brad, that was money.
That was awesome.
God could edit this thing and put that at the end.
Yes.
No, you could.
I think AI is going to take over, though.
Yeah.
So
okay. So speaking of AI,
and take your job as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So, pretty much.
All right. So, I'm just, my words, the heaven and hell thing really took me. I was like, where's this going? OpenAI launches ChatGPT, and, fastest adopted, what we would call like a social platform in the history of platforms, and has all these unintended consequences. We've seen pictures. We were just talking about one we saw on LinkedIn this morning, actually, from someone in the industry that, it looks real. Like it was very clearly created by AI, but you wouldn't know it looking at it initially, right? And I've seen pictures of even people posting pictures of Donald Trump and Joe Biden together, right? Yeah. Like weird stuff that comes out, and you have to, if the person posting it doesn't say this was created by AI, you don't know, right? You hear about phone calls being made in the voice of certain people to try and get money out of, or research or whatever out of people, negotiate. I mean, there's just all kinds of weird stuff happening now that OpenAI really, with the launch of ChatGPT, made that technology available to really, really, really smart people who can code things. How does this scare you? How do we prevent? I mean, is the antivirus, cybersecurity software? You're shaking your head.
It's not going to help us.
Similar to his joke, I was wondering where that was going. He kept going about AI, and I was like, okay.
That's how I feel about AI. It just keeps going. I don't know where it's going.
I'd love to hear your response to that, though. Good.
Well, I mean, I think nobody really knows where it's going. But Sydney, you said a lot of things about that were no. I didn't mean it. You
just listen. These two are you got them on a roll. It's hard to get.
So you talked about a lot of these, scary use cases, right? For that, And I think what I've seen, at least in my lifetime, is that we introduce a lot of technology, and we have no idea how the population is going to react to it. So I see Heath on his cell phone, probably checking his Instagram or something like that.
No, just let our
But,
next guest. We're running a little late, but go ahead.
Yeah, so the social, we invented these phones. I didn't, and they're consuming all of our brain bandwidth of our children, and we've just given our children these devices,
portals,
with no idea of how it's going to affect them. Right. So where I'm trying to draw this to is that AI is kind of that way, right? Where we can theorize about some of the bad things that can happen, but we just really don't know. And we're not going to know maybe until it's too late, right? Till we're all using it. But we don't know. There's a lot of people way smarter than me that are worried about these things and trying to put controls into them. So but you can use ChatGPT. Somebody said nobody's job is going to be replaced by AI, but people who don't use AI and don't know how to use it are going to be replaced. And so I think that agents need to start using it, and I think ChatGPT is a good place to start with ChatGPT, and get the paid account, the ChatGPT 4 account. And I think that's a good place to start. And Steve Anderson, who is insurance tech guru, called it on one of my on Insurance Hacks, our webinar series, called it solves the blank page problem. So we're trying to write a statement of work, and we know exactly what we're going to do, but we just can't get past that. I can't get past that blank page. So I think if it solves the blank page problem for me, it's probably going to solve the blank page problem for a lot of agents that are listening to this.
I love it.
Chatbots, they can be so annoying, but they can also be helpful and guide your customers to the right place. And we're just at the starting point for that. But I see AI as not like a product, but a feature.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think there's I think initially we saw people trying to capitalize on the technology by creating standalone AI products, but what we're going to find as this technology evolves is that the players who have a foot in the market are just really going to adopt it as features within, like, for example, having inside of your sales pipeline the ability for it to write all the emails for you, so you don't have to write them yourself, right? So I completely agree with you on that. But
so we record phone calls when we're calling on people and having meetings and stuff like that. And what we use HubSpot as our sales CRM, and it does this thing where it'll just summarize your call. And it saves number one, it does a better job than I do of summarizing my call. And number two, it does it without me having to do it. And so it allows my team to know, okay, this is what Brad talked about, without having to listen to Brad's 30-minute podcast with Heath and Sid.
Although they should listen.
Right, they should.
All right.
Man, do you want to continue on AI to kind of wrap it up?
No, we got to wrap it up.
Obviously, you crushed this conversation.
Amazing.
You made us laugh. You made us think. You taught us a few things. Chad was over here snorting over here. He was laughing so hard. I don't hear him snort very often, so you did a really good job at that. So thank you. Audience, thank you so much for being here. Brad, can't wait till our next conversation. We'll talk soon, man.
All right.
And next
All right.
time you're in town, it looks like you and Sid might be going to an escape room.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Right. Have a good one, my man.
Have a good
All
one.
right. See you.
Man, what a great episode.
Dude, that was fire. Just it made me think, you know?
Yeah, you always like those. I always like the ones that give me heartburn, the spicy
The
episodes.
spicy ones.
I mean, you do have to get your Rolaids out of her.
I do, because we got some great guests that we had to share their opinions. We had to get that out there.
Well, and listen, that's not the last great guest we're gonna have. We got so many more lined up
Dude.
this season.
Got to come back every single time. And how do you do that? How do they do that? How do they?
Go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, or make sure that you follow us on your favorite podcast channel.
And I'm watching the numbers, so I'll know if you hit subscribe or not. So
He will. He stalks.
I do. So make sure you hit that subscribe button or it's going to hurt my feelings. You don't want to do that now. So come back next week. Hang out with us. We got another amazing guest. See you on the
Peace.
next one.